Hi, I'm Pinge at PingeMusic, and this video will be about making a new mix. I'm about to make a new mix to my old album, Bits and Pieces of a Life. So what this video will begin a series where I will let you follow me when I do the mix. So I will begin in this video, and in this video we'll be talking about gain staging and level the mix so that the sounds are right in the mix. So and also that we, by gain staging, we do some headroom, as it's called, so that we don't peak the mix when we're done with it. The whole idea here on this first video is to gain stage, level, and make it not peak. So follow me and we begin. For the record, I'm not a producer at that level. I'm just a musician that actually have learned some tricks when I mixed my older albums. Okay, after that introduction I will begin to mix the song. First I will begin to play the new version, and then I will begin to play the old version of the mix. And in this part you see what I've done now in the first version of the mix is that I have done a gain stage and I do overall sound, so the level of the overall sound is okay. So every effect that I had from the old mix is gone. So we begin to listen from that and see what we can do with that. So let's begin. Okay, here's the song with the gain staging and so on that I've done now. Now I'm gonna do a thing. I want to compare the old and the new version, just to see what actually have happened and if it's clear or not, and if I like what I've done so far, and if I like the sound and overall sound of everything. So yeah, it's easy here. I will put solo on this one, then you hear the old one, and I will take away the solo, and then you will hear the new one. And that was simple and over-explained, but now you know. So here's the old one. Yeah, and there we had it. What you hear in the old version is that it's over-reverbed. Is that a word? Over-reverbed? I think it is. Now it is. I said it. But it's too much reverb on the whole entire mix, so everything is floating around in a big sea of reverb. So nothing is clear. So that is one of the problems that I want to solve with this new mix. And the other thing is that the song, the vocals is also ranged in reverb. So yeah, it's very much reverb everywhere. Yes, you need to have reverb so it be a room feeling, but you don't have to put it in a bathtub of reverb so it's just gets mushy. So yeah, So what I've done here on the new mix is that I'm trying to gain stages. The first thing I try to do is gain stages. What that is for is so that your signal don't peak. Because if you get a peak, you will not get a good mix. You have to make it don't peak. And some of the VSTR, what do you call it? VSTR, some of the programs and effects and so on will sound bad if you have too much of a gain right into the plugin. So that's what I'm trying to do in this one. That's what I tried to do with this one. I tried to gain stages. My option for gain stages is to put it like from 10 dB to 15 or something there. So what we do now is I will show you how I gain stage and what I do to gain stage. And in this case it's a bit problematic because I have maximized all the tracks in another program when I put it before I put it in this DAW, because I thought, like an old analog man, like a man from the analog time, that was a good thing to have everything maxed out, so you didn't get hums and the sounds from the mixer board and so on. But hey, it's digital, so you don't need to. You can crank it up afterwards. So now I'll put up the mixer window in the DAW so you can see what I actually do when I gain stage. What is gain staging? It's a way to make every waveform you have in the DAW to not peak. Because if a waveform peak, then you will have some scratches and odd noises, because in the digital world you cannot peak. You have no headroom in the digital world that you have in an analog system. Then it was a good thing to peak sometime, because then you got the sound from the system, but you didn't get odd peaks and odd sounds that you didn't want. So you can peak the thing to hear the circuits in the board, and that was a good thing. You got the distortion that you like, more like fuzz-like sound and so on. But in a digital system you don't get that, so then you have to do it that with plugins and so on. So that's why you gain stage, because you need to do it. Another thing why you gain stage was that in the old systems you had some called noise in the system. So if you had too low signal, too low waveform, the noise, then when you put the signal up, then the noise followed up, so you got a higher noise and a higher signal, and then you ruin the recording because of that, because you couldn't do anything with it. So that's also a thing why we gain stage. But again, that's not the problem with a digital system, because you have not that sound, and you can play things very low and still just pump it up and it will be okay. Okay, so what you do in a gain stage is that you want to know how much of the waveform is going into your DAW. It has nothing to do with the mix in any other way than you don't want too much sound into the DAW. Because then when you layer all the sound, it will build up and then you will peak at the end, so the mix will not be able to do. So what I do to gain stage is that I solo every track to see where it is on the meter. So I begin here to solo the track. I've done that already. So you can get some sound from this one. There you have it. So then we have a solo, I can see there. The only thing that go to the speaker is the kick drum. So it is about 10 dB minus, which is okay for me. So then we chose to take that away. We take the other, the snare, and then we look at the snare and listen to the snare. Do the snare sound okay? And do the decibel meter, like here, are in the same spot. Yeah, it is. So then we do the same with this one, the cymbals. And yeah, they're a bit low, but that's okay. You can go lower. It's just to crank them up. So what you do is you do like this with everything on your every sound you have, and when you have made the peaks, when I made everything around 10 to 15 dB minus, I think, or something like that. I put them around the 10 mark, but some other people do more or less. But you will find your own way, your own place to put them, depending on how you mix. So, okay, we go back there to the drum, to the kick drum again. And if you want to reduce this, you have a couple of ways to do it. You have this knob that's called gain, and that's the easiest way to do it. So if you see that the sound peak, see like that. See if we can have the sound. There we have it. So if something peak and you see that is peak, then you just gain this down. You can put it there, and then you have, say, 8 decibel down. And if that is what you like, then you take that one. So the easy way to do it is do it with the gain knob, which I've done with some of them. This other knot. Let's put it back where I had it. So, okay. So when we have done this with all the sounds we have in the mix, then we actually can begin to mix. Yeah, okay, then the other way to do it is that you do it in the file you have. So I will draw this up there, we work on the kick, that is the thing. As you can see, okay, we don't take the kick because I have done some parts here in the mix too, so we take the snare. You have the snare there, and in my program there are probably other solutions that you have an object editor. And there you can silence the waveform from that one. So it's also a way to do it, and most of those I think have it. Or you can go and actively silence the waveform in a wave editor, so you lower the waveform there. It's also a way to do it, but if the gain reduction don't work as well as you want it to. Why I've done this is because I've maximized my files before the mix I did, the first mix I did, because I thought it would be a good thing to have the most sound that I can have. But I realized that if you do that, then your knobs here will not lower the files low enough so you can do a mix. So I've learned from my mistake. So yeah. So that was the first part of my video. Yeah. Okay, and the other things I do here on this first part is that I want to level the whole mix. So I do not want to make some adjustments to the sound at this point. I just want to level the mix so that the drums are exactly where they want to be in the sound, and guitars and so on. So what I do then so actually I go through the mix, like I listen to the drums, I will solo the drums. So what I've done is I have made a bus for the drums, one bus for the guitars, and one bus for the song, and one bus for the piano and so on, so forth. And actually I based on a separate part, but that's more because of the program than because of me. Every instrument group you will group to one bus, because if you do that, then you can make the overall sound of that group good. And when you have found that, then you need to change volume on everything on the bus. You just change the volume on the drum bus, and then the drums will be what you want them to. So you can do like this. I will solo the drum bus, and we play the song, and we will have some drums, I think. And there we have them. So if you want to lower this one, yeah, you just have to lower one, and then you lower the whole entire drum set, which is a wonderful thing. So then you just put it up where you are. There. I don't think I have it. I think I had it on like -2. Yeah. So there we have it. And then I'll put everything on in the bass. So now I want my guitar, then I put that one on. Or even like that. And if you do like this, it's easier for you to manage everything, and you see what you have, and you can solo parts to see and hear how they sound. So yeah, so now I've done this first part. So I've gain staged every instrument and I have leveled the mix. So when I level the mix, I go to the instruments. I begin with the drums and I look at the drums. I have solo drums there, and I look at it and see, okay, how does it sound? Do it make the sounds? Is it overall? In this stage, you just looking. You don't look, you listen. You just listen for if the sounds are where it want to be in the soundscape, so to speak. So, if an example, we put the snare too high or too low, we push it up like that. So if you take the snare and then you listen again, how does this sound? Now we can have the snares too big, these go through the mix. So now you don't want that, so then you just drag the mix button and you look at, and you have around there, you actually can find it from my ear. So there I like it, so there I will put it. Then you go to the next instrument. Then you go to the next instrument and see how do you want that. First of all, you gain stage it that you have done, and then you go to the instrument and you look at it and see, okay, there I have my guitars. Now I want this and a couple of acoustic guitars, so there. In this case it was easy because I had just one acoustic, one disc, but see in the end of the song I actually have some more guitars. Where are they? Give me some guitars. There. So we go there. There we have the more guitars, so we go back to the mixer, or I go back to the mixer. I think you are on the mixer. Nope, there it is. See if you see the mixer too. Yes, you do. Okay. There we have two guitars, and they are complementing each other. So I have one guitar there. What will happen there is the sound will be a bit weaker. So there we have the overall sound that I want. And so I put two guitars on each other. And in this case I don't think I have not put in a different speaker pan, but that's something I will do, maybe we'll do in the mix. Right now I think the overall sound of this one is okay, but to see that we'll have to put the drum on so we can see if the sound is high enough. So yeah, so far I got now, and then I have the vocals the same there. The only thing I do with everything here is that I level it so that this level is what I want it to be, and I gain stage it so I don't peak. And after that we will go into the more interesting thing of the mix that actually make the sound like I want it to do. In the end of this video I will put up the entire song mixed down so you hear how far I've gone this time, and in the next video I will see if we can find another thing, a cool thing, if we can look at effects that are funny or something like that.
inside my head. Can't let anyone in, 'cause I'm afraid. I can hear my doctor's voice and the distant whisper. I'm numbed by the fear of the world outside. I will stay inside, safe from it all. You might say that I'm insane. Maybe I might be when I live inside my brain, 'cause it's safer there. My life is an empty shell, 'cause I'm afraid of what's out there. I'm safe from the nightmares, from my real life outside. Can't let anyone in, 'cause I'm afraid. You might say that I'm insane. Maybe I might be when I live inside my brain, 'cause it's safer there. The world outside is too scary for me. So doctor, please help me out. Don't wanna be afraid no more. I'm safe inside his walls of this insane asylum. The world outside, it's too scary. But I don't know if it is me or if it is you outside that needs to find the cure. There is no love outside. There's no shelter there. There's only pain and misery. So how can I be sane if you can't show me how? 'Cause the world outside seems worth the need. Doctor, 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 help me. Doctor, 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 help me. Doctor, help me to understand. Doctor, 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 help me. Doctor, 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 help me. Is it me or the world outside that are insane?
If you're still here, I thank you for following me this far. And there will be more videos like this one. So subscribe down there. I actually think it's there. Or there. Anyway, the subscribe button is somewhere around there. So till next time, bye bye, and be skillful and safe, and take care and always dream. Bye bye. And don't forget to say hello to my penguin friend. Hello, penguin. Sorry. Bye bye.